Hi, what I want to talk about today is going to the cinema. So on Friday night, myself and a friend, we went to see the new Candyman film, which is a good film. Recommend it, definitely go and see it. But although it was a good film, it wasn't necessarily a good experience. And that was largely dictated by some of the other people who were in the same film, same showing as we were in. And I've come out and we've started talking about it, and I've said to Simone, I've sort of said, look, that is now in one of my top three worst cinematic experiences of, watching something with an audience. So it got me thinking about that. Very quickly, I decided there was a top three, and that had gone into it. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to just do a little video about, what I've, the ones that really stick in my mind, of bad experiences at the cinema. Now, the order of these is chronological. I'm not saying which one is the worst, maybe you can tell by the way that I react to them, but these are the three that stick in mind over quite a long period of time. Okay, so the first one, going back to 2006 at Brixton Ritzy, and the film was X-Men 3 Last Stand. Now, obviously 2006, so it's quite a long time ago, but I mean, even in saying that, it's also quite a long time of people taking their phones into the cinema. We've probably had, 10, maybe 20 years of phones being ubiquitous. I'm pretty bad with the dates for that. So you've got, even then we had this idea of people will play with their phones in the pictures. So sometimes you'll see that little light going on because somebody's taking a phone out to do a text message or messenger, whatever. So, that was already prevalent at that time. What was particularly unusual about this occasion, what stuck in my mind about this occasion, was that either in the row in front of us or the row in front of that was someone was just having a telephone conversation all the way through the film. So not a text message, a conversation. And it wasn't a case of, the phone rang and it was an emergency, they had to rush out and deal with it. This was how they intended to watch the film. So, they were sat there on the phone, watching the film and just having this conversation. So I don't know what percentage of attention they were given to the screen of to the film that they actually paid to go and see, and what percentage of their attention was just going in this telephone call they were having. So that's really stuck in my mind that, someone would actually sit there on the, I couldn't do it. I can't watch a film like that, even at home. If I've got, my phone, if I get distracted, I'm probably going to stop it, rewind it and go and watch it again. So the idea that, you're watching it while doing something else is engaging, is having a telephone conversation. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. So the other one that really sticks to my mind was a few years later, and it was a film called Drag Me to Hell. And we saw that at Acton View in 2009. Now, it was a Saturday, and the time of the film was, I believe, around about 6 or 7 in the evening. So it wasn't like a proper night showing or a late night showing. It was like a sort of late afternoon, early evening show, and I think it was in the summer as well. And so, we're properly into this, people playing with phones, sort of, situation at the cinema now. What really stuck in my mind this time was just people not sitting in their seats. So there was quite a lot of young people in this show, and it was a 15. So, it was a horror film 15, so I can see why it'd be quite appealing to a younger audience. But they just wouldn't sit still. So, they had a seat allocated, as we all do when we go to the cinema, but just walking about and just changing seat from one to the other. And it wasn't just one person doing it. It was little groups of, it's mainly teenagers, little groups of teenagers, moving up, 3 rows over here and coming back down, another group doing it the other way. So it wasn't just one group doing it. It was like little groups moving from one to the other. And once again, I don't know how you're following a film if you're doing that. I don't understand how you can, do that. And it's obviously, from my point of view, just massively distracting to the other people that are in the cinema who are trying to watch the film. You've got people walking in front of you. Okay, so now we get to Friday night. So Friday night, so this was, it's called Grant's Croydon View. And this was a 9 o'clock showing on a Friday night in Croydon. And as I say, the new Candyman film. And, just as the film's about to start, we sat down with seats, pretty good seats, sat down with seats. And I noticed there's a young lad in front of me, he's got his phone out and, and he's either doing a messenger or, whatever, he's got his phone, you can see the screen. And, I did think about, should I say something to him? Should I say, look, the film started, you want to put your phone away? And then I just had this, little look around the rest of the cinema and I said, why single him out? you know, I'm not sure how many people, but I can see screens all over the place. He was not alone. I don't know, a good percentage of the people actually in the screen and had their phones out right from the beginning and, you know, pretty much stayed that way all the way through. So you had that, you know, the little glow of the screens going on. And then there was somebody in the same row of us, but across the aisle. And she was clearly very enamoured with the torch function that she had in her phone, because boom, the torch goes on for looking for something. So about 2 or 3 times during the course of the film, you know, you've got this really bright light, you know, just, you know, over your sort of left-hand shoulder. So we've got the screens, we've got the searchlight going on over here, and then someone to our to the right of us and, you know, a few rows further forward was basically having a conversation all the way through the film. It just didn't sound like it stopped at all. Just, you know, there was 2 of them just constantly talking. And there's one point in the sort of film sort of got a bit quieter, and you just heard one of them sort of saying, "I can't really understand this." And I'm thinking, well, of course you can't understand it because you're not paying attention to it. You're too engaged with the conversation you're having. So that's why you can't follow what's going on up here, because you're doing something else instead. So I was just, you know, amazed by this and, you know, and quite disturbed by it. When we got out the pictures, sort of Simone is like clocked. Clearly, I've been tensing up during the film or whatever. I don't think I've been muttering, but, you know, I might well have been. And she sort of said, "You didn't enjoy that, did you?" And I was like, and it's just poured out of me. I was like, you know, I can't believe, you know, how much distraction was going on just in the course of that film. And as well, it's like, you know, for the point of view, like following a film and enjoying a film, I don't see how you can do it that way. You know, I'm not sort of saying you have to be like, you know, 100% engagement all the time. But if you are like constantly distracted, then you're not going to follow it. I just can't see how you do it. You know, we had John Boyega pop up before the film started and sort of saying, you know, this is the pleasure of being in the cinema. You can leave the outside world behind, you know, and just lose yourself in the film. And people just weren't prepared to do that. They weren't prepared to leave the outside world behind. You know what? You know, the idea of the cinema, you go along, you suspend disbelief, and you get carried away by the story. And they just weren't doing it at all. So as I sort of say, you know, like if these people come out of that film and somebody says to them, you know, "Did you enjoy it?" The answer they should be given is, "I don't know," because they never really gave it the chance. So if anyone, you know, who saw it and said they didn't like it, I'd sort of say, well, you know, what do you expect if you're not going to watch it and actually, you know, engage with what's going on up in the screen and give it your attention? I'm not surprised if you're not going to enjoy it, if you don't like it, or if you can't understand what's going on. Anyway, I'm sure I'm not unique in having these experiences. So, you know, if you've had, you know, maybe you've got a top 3, or maybe you've got one that sticks out, you know, really, you know, vividly compared to the rest. If you do, you know, please share them, you know, pop it in the comments below, you know, and let me know what you think. Okay, thanks very much for your time. I needed to get that off my chest. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.